Some people like the design, they like the colors and how they are arranged. Other people, they're mad about the little driblets underneath and the shininess of the painting, how they remind you on sweets or food. My paintings are tactile, people want to touch them. And other people like the stories behind it. They like that it is a remake of a painting they know or they admire, and a new take, a contemporary interpretation of an existing painting. There are different phases. I see them like 3 stages. One is going out and finding paintings, which involves going to see art shows, looking through art books, sometimes just surfing on the computer, then taking them and start photoshopping and see if you get a nice line out of it. And then the second one is the mixing of the paint. And the more accurate you have them, the better. The third one is the actual dripping. And there's nothing I can do about it. I have a starting point where I let it drip, and the rest is gravity and chance, which decides if that drip goes down straight or not. When I go and see a good show and I'm impressed, automatically I start to play with the images and see what comes out when I stretch these paintings into lines. Of course, if I like a painter, I always try to, you know, I wish sometimes I could make something, but it turns out too boring or just not interesting enough, and then I have to discard it. And sometimes it's a painting I find quite naff, or which is not really my taste. Comes out with the most beautiful color combination. So I'm not judging the painters or you know, say I'm a huge fan of them or I particularly like them. It's like a different way at looking at artwork. The drip itself is a small part of my work. The surface is very important. I use aluminium plates on boxed aluminium stretchers, and then it's down to sanding and really getting that surface as smooth as possible, because every little speck of dust would potentially put the drip offline. And then the moment when you have a blank canvas or when you're there and you start doing the drips, that is really the best time. That for me, that's when I enjoy myself the most. My paintings are abstract and they are non-figurative, but they have a narrative that might be different to abstract expressionism. For me, it's much more a story which is told, and the paintings come from somewhere and are transformed or coded in what I'm doing. I really like to make big paintings. It's a complete different process. You have to step up on the ladder and you mix yourself liters of paint rather than a couple of centiliters. And the scale, I think, works very well. Maybe from my architectural background, I feel it's quite important to have a painting which suits the location, not just color-wise, also in shape and size. So I often get invited first and see the space, and then I always try to get something which is relevant either to their business, to their location, or to the person who wants to have the painting. I can't say there's a stereotypical person who collects my painting. Sometimes I'm quite surprised, because I would say maybe my paintings are more for the younger or trendier people, because it's quite slick, it's abstract, it's very high glossy and shiny. But there is no age gap. There's all the people who really understand and see what I do and like it. I think it's important that people have a story with their picture, that they they have something which is more than just paint on a stretcher. And I feel they get this with my paintings.